Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. Buenas noches. Thank you for being here. I'm sorry for the delay. We had some technical difficulty. So today we are doing an informational and listening session for District 1. This is a 2-hour meeting. So in the first hour, all of us there, myself, District 2, your elders, the new fire chief, Chief Morales, Jill, and Mike, we had to, in 1 hour, we need to inform you what is going on in the city. And then the second hour is going to be about questions from you. So hold all your questions for the second hour. The other thing I want you to start thinking when we are going through this presentation is, what are the things that you think the city is doing well, and what are the things that you think that we need to improve, or the things that we shouldn't be doing, or the thing that you say, why are you doing this? You know what I mean? So think about that, and we would like to your feedback for the second hour. Okay, so can you move to the next one? So this is your elected official. As you know, we have a council that is 9 people, including the mayor. And the city is divided in 4 districts. Each district has 2 elders. District 1 is, we are here, and you have Dave and Joe Maldonado are your district. No, go back. And then we have Bill Jetzer and Gabriela from District 2, Donald and Logan for District 3, and Nicole and Micah for District 4. So, and Gabriela is the president of the council. Okay, next one. So this is the map with the different districts, and we are in the district that is orange. This is District 1. We have already started doing this listening and informational session in April. We already did it in District 3, District 2, and now District 3. In September, we are going to do another listening session in District 4. Okay, next one. So some people ask me, what is your role as a mayor? So I have different roles. One, I can go in detail, but I'm gonna, in summary, is I have an executive leadership. I am practically in charge of the city. But I have a group of people in City Hall, the city administrator, or all the head of the department that they are running the department. The mayor in the city of Fitchburg is part-time. I have a full-time job. I am an accountant for Wagner CPAs. So I am not there every day. This is why I need to have we call a week mayor system. The other thing that I do, a legislative role, I am in charge of presiding all the common council meetings, passing resolution, ordinance, all that my other role. And also the biggest one is the budget and finance. I put together the budget and also the capital improvement plan that is our infrastructure budget. I do community engagement, like what I am doing right now, trying to be in front of the resident, doing the listening session, the coffee with the mayor. Tomorrow I have a coffee with the mayor in District 3. I am doing ribbon cutting. I am the face of the city in all the public appearances. I do a lot of advocacy and policy. I meet regularly with all the mayors in the county. I am also in the board of the League of Wisconsin Municipality to advocate for our city and for all the municipalities in the south central of Wisconsin. And also I meet with our state legislator, and then county supervisor, because they are also representing us. So I want to meet with them and say, this is our need, what you're doing there for us. And also I am in charge, this is to Chief, emergency management, but you don't want me to be in charge of that. This is what I have. The chief here to be in charge, he's going to explain what is his function. But in case of a crisis, I authorize like an emergency. What is a resolution? But this is my role only. I am not going to be in charge of managing the crisis. You know what I mean? But this is what I have expert in the team. Okay, next one. Huh? No, I don't like to do that. You know that. Okay, some of the data, key data from the city is, we got a couple of weeks, last week, our new population number. We are already 36,197 people. So we grew almost 1,000 from last year. We grew, in 2020, we were 30,999. So we almost grew like 5,000 in the last 5 years. So our average growth is 1,000 people per year. So our equalized value, also we got those new numbers, is $6.16 billion. So it means how much is worth the city. That one is a number that the Wisconsin Department put together, they collect every year. So we grew almost close to $1 billion from last year. Our bond rating in 2024, we got upgraded to AAA. So there is only 6 municipalities in the state of Wisconsin that they have that triple rate bond. So it means that we have very well financial management of our municipality. We have great financial policies in place. Our city is in a very good financial position. Our median income is around $94,000. And the other thing that we got recently is the new average home value of the city. It's almost $500,000. So if you want to move to Fitchburg, people say that it's the starter price for a home is $500,000. You know, and the other thing I want to mention is that we have a very good relation with the Chamber of Commerce. They are our Visit on Business Bureau. It means like some of the room tax that we collect from the hotel, we transfer to them because they are doing all the promotion of the city. Okay, next one. So what is my vision for the city and my priority? So my vision, if you read that, at the end of the day is we want to live in a city that is safe, is thriving, and is moving forward, and is inclusive and welcoming. At the end of the day, you know, there are many more. But this is what I think everyone, as a mayor and as in our common council, they are behind this vision because we want to live in a safe community that is growing, thriving, and we are inclusive and welcoming. Priority, I have several priorities. You can ask me questions in the second hour about more in detail. But the first one is support safe and healthy neighborhood. You know, we need to continue investing in the H&I or the healthy neighborhood areas. We are here in one of those. And maintaining the city infrastructure. You know, we have huge infrastructure in the city from roads, trees, park facility, municipal buildings. So we need to continue investing and maintaining that infrastructure. That is very costly. Expand the housing option. Everyone knows here that there is a housing crisis not only in our city, in the county, or in the state. It's a national one. So Mike is going to tell us in more in detail all the initiatives that we have about housing. So the idea is to build more houses from, you know, a starter home to $2 million home, whatever, in the middle, and different price choices. We are going to continue. Another priority is investing in public transportation, especially how to improve the connectivity from different parts of the city, because we know that this area sometimes is not, you don't have a fully access of public transportation to go to the library, to the senior center, or to the other part of the city. So the idea is how we can improve our public transportation to have a better connectivity in the city. Strengthen our public safety. You know, we know that we have staffing issues in the fire and the police department. So we need to continue addressing those issues and determine how we are going to make, how we are going to increase those, hire more police officers or firefighters. Because, like in the real world, every time that we increase 1,000 people in population, we should be hiring one police officer and one firefighter extra. But we are not doing that. We haven't done that in a long time, many, many years. So if we don't do that consistently, it reaches a point where, voila, I am here, and I need 6 more firefighters, and I need 5 police officers. The referendum didn't pass, but it doesn't mean because the referendum passed that the need disappears. So we need to continue looking forward what we're going to do with that. The other priority is the best employer in the region, because we always say is we want to bring the best company to the city, we provide a good salary, benefit. But the city of Fitchburg is an organization, and we need to be a role model too. So my priority is continue investing in retention, providing the same benefit that the employee have had in the past. And it's becoming harder because last week we received our increase for our health insurance for the employee for next year is almost at 9%. So it's becoming very, very hard to continue maintaining the same level of benefit and salary. And we need to provide salary adjustment to our employees because inflation is almost 3%, and at least we need to provide that incentive. Advancing sustainability initiative, the council approved in April our first sustainability plan, and is how, climate change is real. People sometimes, some skeptical people, but this is what it is. And we have noticed recently with how we have increased rain, and in the last 2 days with all the rain, we invested in a lot of infrastructure in the last couple of years in storm water and pond. And then we were ready that system worked because our city didn't flood with the latest rain. Some of the park were at capacity, because we were there, but it means that we are investing in infrastructure to protect the city for all these climate changes. Enhance resident engagement. This is what I am doing now, is trying to be, we are very intentional on how to reach out to the resident and inform what we are doing. And it's very difficult because we don't have a communication director inside the city, in Sun City Hall. So we had to do how we are reaching out the diversity of population, from the young population to the elderly, the senior. Everyone access information differently. Also, we have 16% of our population that they are Hispanic. So how we are reaching them in Spanish too. So we are becoming very, very intentional with that. And last thing, and the most important, is to maintain a fiscally responsible tax policy. That one is key for me, is to maintain, and I can show on a slide, that in the last couple of years, the city has maintained that. Our taxes have been kind of flat. But some of you say, no, taxes have increases. Remember when we send you the bill to you? That bill contains 4 jurisdictions. It's the city of Fitchburg, then counting the school, and Madison College. I have control, and the council has control of the city portion. If you look at the city portion compared from the previous year, and I'm going to show you in a slide later, that our taxes have been very steady and flat. But remember, in 2023, Dane County sent us a bill with 17% increase in taxes. But we send the bill, so you think that we are increasing your taxes, or you think that all the money comes to us. Only 1/3 of the money in the tax bill comes to the city of Fitchburg. Okay, next one. The updates, what we are doing right now. The council just approved last Tuesday the capital improvement plan. That is, I usually call, for the people that they don't know, what is the capital improvement plan? It's an infrastructure plan. We put together a 10-year plan where practically we say, what are the big asset facility that the city need to build in the next 10 years, and how we are going to fund those projects. We are going to use debt, taxpayer money, grants, other aids from other agencies. And we put a plan, so we have an idea what are those big projects are. I'm going to give you an example. A fire truck that we need to replace every 10 years costs now almost $3 million. Okay? So that one is a very expensive equipment that we need to plan and say how we're going to pay, when do we need to replace it, how we're going to pay it. The same with roads. The same with if we are doing any other facility, like we are building the Chief Morales is going to explain that, but we are planning to build the police facility. The police facility is almost a $30 million facility that we already have been planning for that for the last 10 years, and it's going to see the light at the end of the tunnel this year. But this is a big project that the city has to plan with in advance, and also figure out how we're going to pay for this project. We are working on the 2026 budget. Next week, I am meeting with all of the heads of department. They are going to provide me with the budget, and then I'm going to review the budget, the draft, and then decide what are the things that they are going to stay or the things that they're going to go out, and look at how much is going to be the increase in that budget. And then I bring also my priority to the budget. The budget is going to be the public, I think the second week of September. And then for 2 months, it's going to be open to all of you and to the council to provide amendment, and it's going to be we vote for the final in November, because we need to send the bills in December. So we are finalizing 2 neighborhood plans. We just approved the sustainability plan. We are working on the first city strategic plan. We hope to finish that in October. The council just approved the creation of the Community and Equity Committee. We are doing a lot of parks projects. If you drive around the city, you will see that we are building new parks or fixing parks, repair parks, so we are investing a lot in parks. We are also, during summertime, we do a lot of work on road resurfacing and reconstruction. And for the fall, one of my other priorities is to start working on the revision of the comprehensive plan and the zoning code. Our zoning codes are very, very old, and there are barriers. It contains a lot of barriers for if we want to move some of the housing initiatives. So this is what we are doing, also the revision of the housing plan that Mike is going to explain in detail. And we are also working in a couple of housing initiatives that Mike is going to provide that information. I think this is my last one. Yeah. Okay, so now your elders are going to mention to you what is happening in your district. Do you want to say something, Dave and Joe?
Mike here? Mike's right there. Do you want to go first?
You have to go with the mic.
Okay.
Do you want me to go? Do you want to do that? Okay.
Those of you,
It talks in so that it gets recorded, so
Yeah,
it
yeah.
doesn't amplify.
Okay.
Like you're not going to hear it.
hi, those of you who don't know me, I'm Dave Herbst. I'm the District 1 Alder, Seat 1. My counterpart over here, Joe Maldonado, is District 1 Alder, and Seat 2. I just live up the street here, King James Way, where I've lived 37 years. So the majority of my adult life, I have lived right here in Fitchburg. I've been on council 5 years. Prior to that, I've been on Board of Public Works. Now this is my 33rd year. I've served longer on a committee than anyone in Fitchburg's history, so I kind of know our infrastructure. I'm an engineer. As the mayor mentioned, some things we have going on here. We approved, those of you that live over in Chicory Meadows, where we had let our tennis courts at the they became degraded, and last night the city, we decided, to bite the bullet, and we're going to repair those so that park is restored and people can use it. You also notice, if Joe would notice a little more than I do, we had ARPA money last year, and we were repaving a lot of the streets over in the Belmar area. We thought we'd be done this year. We had to delay one of them due to water main and sewer, but we'll finish that next year. So those streets over there, the infrastructure in my district is my priority. Okay, being an engineer, I want to maintain our parks and those things. I am the chairman of the Board of Public Works, and I'm on the Parks Commission, and I am also the chair of Public Safety and Human Services, which approves permits for sound permits, parties, various things, alcohol licenses. I chair that committee also. So again, I would tell you I'm not a politician. I would tell you the other council members, their nickname for me is Lord Voldemort for my voting record. But I enjoy this job, but my focus is many small things. I'm not into large expensive things. I think our city is made better by many small things. Example I'd give you: go over to Jamestown Park and see the beautiful community garden that we got started over there. And I'm proud I initiated that, and it's something I'd like to, I'd like to see probably, 100 of those in the city, but, so I've said too much. I'll turn it over to Joe.
Yeah. Thanks all. I'm Joe Maldonado. I've been on council since 2020. I live in the Belmar neighborhood in Renaissance on the Park. My background is in youth work. I work for the University of Wisconsin Extension. That's my day job. Just adding to some of the things Dave mentioned, and I know you're not going to be able to see stuff on the screen. It's not very ADA accessible, but I'll say that the one of the things that is coming is a development that's up the street. I don't know where my orientation's coming, but we'll probably have about 170 units in apartments. 180, okay. Yeah. Can I get a 300? No. So there's also going to be several businesses that are going to be in that area as well. I think McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, there'll also be some spaces for other retail businesses as well. In addition to kind of what Dave said about the streets, I'll just give kudos to the city, because anytime somebody sends an email to us about the delays in the repaving or some of the challenges due to the water, our engineering staff is on it immediately. Our public works staff are top-notch professionals. So I just want to echo the mayor's point that investing in our staff is really important, because one thing I've found is if I'm at Belmar Park and a swing is broken, I literally immediately call our staff and they have it fixed within a day. So, we have a really solid group of professionals. I also will say that this morning the mayor and I met with the superintendent of the Verona School District, and as you may or may not know, the district acquired some land right across the street from us, the Painters Union, and that building is currently the home of the district, while the current central office in Verona is under construction. We talked to Dr. Clarity. There is a plan to kind of build around that area to build a new elementary school. Their budgetary realities will depend on when they are able to build it, but that'll be a new elementary school here in this community. We have 2 schools in the Verona Area School District that are in Fitchburg. This will be a 3rd one, and it'll be able to increase the capacity, because as you know, the VASD population is growing, and there's a need to make sure that our classrooms aren't packed to the brim. So I'll also shout out, we have a board member right here if you want to bother him. That's Christopher Peguero. He can tell you all about what they're doing. But the superintendent actually told us that he intends, once their administrative building is completed, that he'll spend 2 days a week in the office here, so he'll actually be in the neighborhood and accessible to Fitchburg families. As you might see, a YMCA is going to be coming to Fitchburg. And also one thing that I have nothing to do with, but I'm really happy about, is that there are several businesses now on Williamsburg Way in that plaza that's been empty mostly except for a liquor town for 5 years. There's El Gran Taco Gato. I just had dinner there. It's delicious. And then there's La Hispana. There's a hair salon. So I believe that entire area is full now, which is great. We met with the Latino Chamber of Commerce, some staff and myself. They have a new executive director. And I want to say what I heard from Mike, which I believe is great, is that in Fitchburg, I think there's very few vacant buildings. One of the vacant buildings is a Mounds that's right next door. So we're having no problem actually filling businesses. And I'm sorry if I'm stealing any of your shine there. Yeah, I would say one other thing that's important to note is that in the Belmar neighborhood, we're divided in a really weird way with the city of Madison. I think there's a lot of drawbacks to that, meaning kids go to different schools, people have different calls for service when they need something. However, one benefit that we get from that is there is a really strong presence in the Allied Dunce Marsh neighborhood. There's a really strong neighborhood association. The city of Madison has events there frequently, and that benefits residents in our neighborhood as well. Parks Alive events, movies in the park, dinners that Dave and I frequently attend, and just a really core group of neighbors that care about their community and give back. So I'll stop there and pass it off to, I believe, our fire chief. Yep.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I recognize a lot of familiar faces out there from some other events. I am the new fire chief. I've been here since the beginning of June. My name is Scott Sarver. I came out to Wisconsin from Colorado, and it was kind of always a plan of my family's. Once my kids got out of high school, they wanted to come back here. And my wife wanted to come back here, so we pulled the trigger and moved back here. And I was lucky enough to get this job. So really excited to be here. All my experiences with the city staff and the residents have been great, and everybody's so Midwest nice, and it's outstanding, and that's a real thing. As far as the fire department goes, we're working hard every day to increase our ability to provide great service to you. One of the things that we're noticing, as the mayor mentioned, is that we have an increased population. So going up about 1,000 folks a year or so. But what we're seeing on the fire department is that our emergency responses are going up about 8 or 9% a year. So it's far exceeding the population rate. And I noticed, obviously, I'm new to the Dane County area, but it seems like there's quite a disproportionate rate of growth here compared to the rest of the counties in the state. And I know you guys have been living that for a long time. So similar to where I started in the fire service in Colorado is a town called Parker. It's in the Denver metropolitan area. Very similar in 1998 when I started there. Disproportionate growth, rapid challenges with resources, short on funding, trying to figure out the crystal ball of growth and development. So this is very familiar to me, and a lot of the conversations that we have are very familiar to me. So hopefully some of that experience can benefit the city as well as the fire department, anybody else that wants to listen to me talk about that experience. So I think I'm fortunate to have that in my back pocket. But call volume is a significant issue. It is increasing the load. I wouldn't say that we need more stations right now, but that's something we should always look at in that 10, 15, 20-year future. But the firefighters, and in both of our stations that we respond out of, the ambulances are housed there from Fitch-Roney EMS. And I can tell you, after getting to know all of them and meeting with them and talking about how things are going, what the needs are, they're very dedicated people, and they work hard every day to do the best they can. Other than some recent road construction challenges near both stations, we're doing great, and those projects are almost done. But yeah, call volume, that's for sure. Yeah. Some of the challenges we're facing is staffing. So, we're a smaller fire department in the grand scheme of things. So a lot of times we get a lot of young folks that come in and they train, and then they get attracted to and seek opportunities with larger organizations. So that's been going on a long time in Fitchburg. It's in a way bittersweet when I meet my peers from around the state and things like that. In the short time I've been here, everybody's like, you guys produce great firefighters for us. So kind of bittersweet, but a compliment. And through that, we've developed really good relationships, as well as a really good reputation as a good fire department for your community. So I've been learning that quite a bit. Recruitment and retention. This is something that the fire, EMS, and police across this country have been experiencing for some time. It used to be for any one firefighter opening, we'd get over 100 applicants. Some cities would get over 1,000 applicants for one firefighter opening. We're seeing that drastically reduced right now. So it is a challenge. Some folks like to talk about generational differences and things like that, but the bottom line is we're all evolving and learning, and we need to make sure that we're marketing and making sure that the opportunity is favorable for those people that we're looking for. But we have one position open right now, and we got 44 applications, so we're feeling good, and a lot of those are great candidates. So working on that and working on attracting people from everywhere and anything, any kind of industry, hitting all of the diversity, areas that we can focus on to try and represent what our community looks like. It's a big struggle in the fire service to actually pull that off, but everybody in this country is working really hard on it, and hopefully one day we figure out the solution. I already talked about the call volume, but as the mayor discussed, funding issues. So I'm still learning a lot about city funding and city budgets because I came from what was called a special district in Colorado. It's a little bit different. And I'm also learning about the state funding and how property taxes are processed here. But we obviously are feeling that effect because for myself and Chief Morales, when we hire somebody and we hire them to ride on a fire engine or in a police car, that position always has to be filled. And in my situation, it has to be filled for 24 hours a day. So it's very costly to fill positions like that. When somebody calls in sick, you have to fill it. Much different than a lot of occupations and businesses. So it's a challenge for that funding, and the mayor and I have been talking about it ever since I've been here, and hopefully we pull off some good plans and get some things going and really kind of match that growth of firefighters with the growth of the city and really have a good response force for you guys when those emergencies happen. The other part of my role is emergency management. I have a long history in that business, and I really enjoy that part of it, to see how groups can come together and speak the same terminology and respond to the needs of communities. I've been fortunate enough to do that across the country in certain types of disasters. So it's something I like to share that experience with as well and help people prepare, respond, and recover from those incidents. Specifically in Fitchburg Fire Department, we're increasing our capability in what's called technical rescue in case a tornado came in and there were issues with buildings or structures collapsing or potentially collapsing. We're increasing that training and equipment to be able to respond to that. So in a lot of ways, that's emergency management as well. But good stuff happening there. That's it. But again, excited to be here, excited to provide service to the community, and excited to get to know everyone. So with that, I'll close.
Thank you. All right. Welcome, everyone. I'm happy to see some familiar faces. My name is Jill McCone. I'm the director of the Fitchburg Senior Center. Been with the city for 32 years, so I've seen a lot of changes, a lot of growth, and hopefully we're making our way to meet those changing needs. Staff at the top, I just wanted to show we've got a great staff. We got a big staff, and we have 2.5 social workers. We get county funding to help pay for that. Office assistant, an assistant director, a volunteer coordinator who also manages meals, and most recently we have a LTE nutrition site assistant because the meal program is pretty large. And then down at the bottom is my commission on aging well. Every department has a commission or a committee appointed by the city, and so I'm so proud to see so many of them here. Charles Brown, you raise your hand, Barbara Rotman, Janice Hughes, Vance Ashby, Donna Stewart. These are the folks that keep me in line. I'm really happy to have them here today because we have embarked on a year-long mission to increase the diversity of older adults of color at the Senior Center, because as I've mentioned, I've seen the change in this city. We primarily serve white people, and we really need to get out and make sure that everybody is aware of the programs and services that we have at the center. So the commission members are here today to kind of learn about District 1. That's where we're starting. It's the most diverse. So thank you, members, for being here tonight and hearing me talk more about our programs. So explore our programs. We have a lot going on at the Senior Center every single day. We have about 250 people that come through the doors for a variety of activities. They range from passive to active, from bingo to pickleball, lots of parties. We try to have fun. We've got a bike group, and we've been doing better at diversity, but we can still do more with some cultural events. But we've got a lot of hobby groups, from knitting to wood carving, and it just runs the gamut. I feel like, they say, well, you can't be everything to everyone, but I probably try too hard to be everything to everybody, but we do have a variety of programs. And again, people from 50 all the way up to Ginny, who's 97, right? Calling bingo today. So there is something for everyone. And as you can see, there's some of our programs. Yeah, so, all right, mine's going to be really quick. Next slide. But more importantly, I want to talk about our services, because I think people think senior center, oh, bingo, you know, what's a senior center? What do they really do? There's a lot of services that go on at the senior center. We help a lot of people. Those 2.5 social workers, which the other 0.5 works at the police station, we help a lot of folks, and I'll jump to them, the social work services. So we do get funding from the county. We get about $150,000 to help fund the social work program as well as the meal program. Those social workers are helping people stay at home and independent for as long as possible. We work with hospitals and clinics and providers. We get referrals from neighbors. We get referrals from family members. I mean, it used to be that every older adult lived by a family member, and it's not like that anymore. Family members have moved away. We have many, many people that come to the center every single day that have no one but us. And so these social workers are critical in making sure that they have the services and programs they need to stay active and independent. And then when the time comes and they can't, we make sure that we can access whatever benefit it is, whatever we can do to help transition them to the next living situation that meets their needs. So back to the front there, the transportation services, as the mayor spoke about, obviously, at least for us, we've been advocating for more transportation for a long time. There's not a lot. We do get a county-provided bus to bring people to meals every single day. We don't really have a lot of say in that contract. It is funded by federal funds and state funds, and it's really around the nutrition program. So get people there around 10:30, take them home around 12:30, and then they'll give us some exceptions for late pickups. But truly, that's all we have for people to get to activities at the senior center. So very limited. And then we have an RSVP program, which is using volunteers that take people to their doctor's appointments. And that's highly used, and it's a great service, door to door. They wait there for folks, take them home afterwards. Hard with wheelchair transport. Luckily, I have a 501c3 friends, Fitchburg Senior Center friends, so oftentimes they will help pay for a wheelchair ride to transport somebody to the doctor. But definitely a big need to get people where they need to go. Health and wellness. Fitchburg is a very healthy population of older adults. And again, our exercise programs and wellness programs run the gamut from functional fitness, chair-based exercise, to aerobics, to biking, yoga, tai chi, cardio drumming, which is what that woman's doing down there. And so again, we hope something for everyone so they can keep active. Line dancing, there's a lot of fun going on. Social work I talked about. Social isolation, huge. I think that social isolation really came to the forefront during COVID, brought a lot of light to how important it is to not be socially isolated. It has a lot of negative health benefits. So our meal program, I think, is great. We can range from 35 people, you know, on our high days, maybe down to 15 on a smaller day like Tuesday, but these are the opportunities for people to really connect with other folks, because oftentimes it's the only people they see. And so they might come over on the county bus, some of them drive over, but they share a meal. We have people that just come over in the morning for coffee. If you like carbs, then stop over, because we got bread from Panera and bagels and a lot of treats, but just a place to congregate. And it's just really important for that social isolation. And along those lines with the meal program, we do home delivered meals. Commission members back here are drivers. We have 5 routes throughout the city that we deliver meals. So that can range from 35 up to 50 a day to get people the food that they need. And then lastly, educational opportunities. We have a lot going on. Learn new personal growth and skill development. Janice Hughes started a Lunch and Learn program it's been about 2 years, Janice. And it's wonderful. It's twice a month. And she lines up some amazing speakers, and they speak while you enjoy a meal. They're fun, they're educational. and open to anyone, and it's just a great program. And so along with Janice's Lunch and Learns, we have a lot of other ongoing programs that pop up in different topics, and hopefully to engage a lot of people. So we're not the center that I think people think when they think senior center. We're vibrant, we're active, and we're trying to get out there in the community and make sure that everybody feels a part of the center, especially this side of town. It's hard to connect with folks on this side of town when you got Verona Road feeling like a big disconnect, but we're trying. And so thank you, commission members, for being out here and helping me embark on this journey to do better. But I welcome you all to the center anytime, so thank you. And I love being sandwiched between essential services, because I have always said, police, fire, senior center, and EMS, essential.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. Hello, I'm Al Morales, Police Chief of Fitchburg. Thank you for having us all here. It's quite a pleasure always to get our story out. Before I get to the police facility, how many of you made it out to our community night out yesterday? Have you gone to any of the other ones in the county? Verona, Monona, Sun Prairie? There's vendors, volunteers that came out to ours that go to several of the other ones. We are the biggest, even over Madison. So big credit to Fitchburg. Big turnout. We did have a clicker. We were definitely well over 3,000. Estimates of maybe up to 4. But I would just say between 3,000 and 4,000 in attendance that came in. 2 came there and left, but throughout the evening. It's very positive. This is a time where we need it. It's truly a testament to what we have here at Fitchburg. Those people there were Fitchburg residents, Fitchburg elected officials, and Fitchburg committee members. Several of our police and fire commission members were there. So it wasn't just one that showed up. Obviously, our mayor was there. Mayor had to attend. We've been having some long nights. Day 3 for me. We start, I can't say that I'm first, second, or third shift because I've been at work from about 7:30 in the morning until things end. And sure, same with fire, but that's our job, right? So that's important, and it's important during a time the city of Fitchburg is growing at a pace. It's either sometimes one of the number 1 fastest growing city in the state of Wisconsin, or it comes in second. But we are the top growing city in the state of Wisconsin, and it's at a pace where we can bring up topics and we can start pointing the finger. Who do you blame? And I need to say that before we're talking about the building, because who do you really blame? It's tough where you're growing. It's growing pains. It's a young city that is growing into adulthood, and we're trying to get there with city services and trying to get there to accommodate our fast-growing population. And sometimes when I say growing pains, we can't always get what we want, right? That's how we grew up, and we try to we try to do the best we can, and we try to be creative and think out of the box. I say that as when this police facility, the study was in 2014, and in 2014, the city of Fitchburg had already outgrown the staffing, not just the police department, the staffing in the building for the city of Fitchburg, City Hall, was outgrown in 2014. The study came out early 2015. And one of the things is we got to get the police department out of here, out of this building. We're consuming too much of this building, and we need to allow the growth for other city services. 2015. And where are we at now? 2025. And we still don't have shovels in the ground, but we're very, very close. We're 1 meeting away to move it. We are under budget, and we're getting there to have a very nice police station that's going to be accommodating. Some little challenges along the way, too much to talk about in one meeting, and I've only got a couple of minutes, so I'll leave all of that piece. Too much, but I say that because it looks like sometimes that we keep screaming and saying we need more, we need more. We're working on a 2014 project in 2025. So when we say that, obviously there's challenges and struggles amongst all of us, but I can't really say there's nobody in this room to blame. That's just the growing pains. So this building, it's finally got, hopefully, cross your fingers, it'll be up and running. We're looking at maybe getting the groundbreaking ceremony sometime in September for groundbreaking to occur first week of October. Very excited about that. Our second piece is staffing. We are struggling, as you heard all along. Again, the growing pains of the city of Fitchburg. When I came into my first year in 2021, I got here. I was informed by City Hall we're growing at a pace of 725 residents a year. Since I've been here, we've been 1,000 at least a year. So I don't know where that 725 is, but we're growing at 1,000 or plus a year. That's big. There's no right formula as to say what your staffing needs are. But as a city grows, our services grow. We need to continue to get out there. There's the challenges between traffic and people. We have a healthy community. When we say build healthy communities, this is a community where every time, I mean, even at nights, you go drive the neighborhoods and there's people out there exercising at all times of the days. When there's more traffic to come in, if you see when we do construction, you could, Sayin and Cheryl, I watch the pedestrians that are there videotaping the traffic. And they're like, there's another car. There's another car. And then we get those complaints. You need to do more traffic control. Yeah, but there's one car, you know, it's people that are driving to Promega, people that are driving, employees driving to Promega, Agora, City Hall. It's a tough, and we have to learn to grow with that. But we still have a service to do. Seeing that we are short, what we did with the police department is we are working on a reorganization. We have our own, and part of our reorganization, there's some things that we look at, like what do we duplicate that we can eliminate, and what can we do to keep our officers back out on the street? And how can we do that through ways of communicating, through technology, and maybe removing some things that are in duplication. And part of that in the reorganization is our dispatch services. We do have a service, it's through our county, that provides dispatch to the entire county. So we are going to be removing our dispatch services so that we can use those personnel, find that money from personnel, and include it to more support services for our police officers that are out in the street. And without getting into too detailed, if an officer needs to work on evidence, again, these things, as much as we use them, we're dependent on them, but this is things that officers need to, when they get called on investigation, they need to process. And this can consume you, could keep you inside the building. So create an evidence manager that can do this for our officers to keep our officers back out on the street. Evidence managers that can process our evidence so our officers can collect it, but get back out on the street and be processed by somebody inside in that position as civilian. As was indicated, we had a part-time social worker. We've inundated that social worker with work, and we could use her part-time, full-time, which we're going to be doing that with the surplus that we get from our communications. And in addition, we're going to be, we're short some officers, but we're getting close to our staffing levels, and we're going to use those for some mid-management position levels that are going to help us communicate. With the new facility, we're also looking at how we can obtain some technology that is going to help us on response calls for service. That I won't say too much about because that's an hour-long presentation in itself. But just to let you know all the things we're doing here within the police department to accommodate the growing needs of the city.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief Al. Okay, I'm on the clock. The mayor always puts me on the clock. So I'm Mike Zimmerman. I'm the Economic Development Director for the city, and I'll be celebrating 30 years in Fitchburg in September of this year. So it's been a great experience throughout my career here, and I'm going to highlight some development activity in the corridor as well as some housing initiatives that we've been working on. So with that, Fitchburg is one of the top fastest growing communities in the state of Wisconsin, but our focus has never been on growing the fastest. It's always been on the quality of development. And I think that stands the test of time and encourages the investment that we see in the city today. In 2024, we had $196 million in building permit construction activity, and that was a really good balance of single-family permits, multifamily apartment construction, as well as various commercial projects around the city, including Sub-Zero's constructing their headquarters and conference center right now. So we truly will be the global home of the Sub-Zero group, as their signs indicate on their campus right now. Then as we look to the Verona Road corridor, next slide. Oh, there. One of our economic development tools at the local level is something that you might have heard of called tax increment finance. And we've got various TID districts around the city in our 3 north-south corridors. And the one on the west side of the city is our TID number 7 that wraps around both the east and the west sides of Verona Road. And we're trying to encourage investment, reinvestment, and redevelopment along that entire corridor. And as you probably experienced living on the west side here, you lived through the 7-year road reconstruction project. And now that that's finally done, we're starting to see interest and reinvestment in this corridor, and we're really excited about that. So one of the first projects was the Mackenzie Workforce Development Center in the Boys and Girls Club headquarters on the east side. That was a former Thermo Fisher building, so that's a great addition to our community. And then Discovery Storage, the vertical storage is being rebranded to Extra Space Storage. Still the original owners, but they're rebranding it for extra marketing and kind of branding power with Extra Space. And then as one of the elected officials mentioned, the YMCA of Dane County acquired a 7-acre parcel right at McKee Road, just west of the Badger State Bike Trail there at Spoke Drive for a future YMCA facility here in Fitchburg. They're in their quiet capital campaign mode, and then once they reach a certain threshold, they'll move forward with that project. A really good community catalyst project for us and something that is really a positive for our community. Then as we switch to the west side of Verona Road in the Anton Drive neighborhood, we just met with the new director of the Wisconsin Latino Chamber of Commerce. They acquired the Roughing It in Style building and are transforming that into a gateway of entrepreneurship, doing a lot of really good programming and skill development here in that corridor. We worked with our friends and partners at the Verona School District quietly to help them acquire the land between Capec and King James Way, including the Painters Union building, and that will be the site of that future elementary school that Alder Joe had mentioned. Again, one of those really good community development generational projects that is so important for our community. La Hispana opened within the last month or two. I was just in there taking pictures and everything. Great little grocery store for the neighborhood, so definitely patronize and visit their establishment. We've got the Loxley Events Center that was recently the Mad Power Yoga. Previously, been around a long time, the Dry Bean Saloon. So if you're looking for a place to have a party or an event, they've got a great setup there. And then right now, Blue Plate Catering is renovating the building that most recently housed Little John's, but previously was A1 and Ethan Allen back in the day. And that's going to be the headquarters for Blue Plate Catering. And then they're also going to have a special event room in there to accommodate about 100 people. So some really good reinvestment and reuse of those existing buildings. Then we move to the Jamestown Quarry over here. You're seeing a lot of dirt being moved. This is a recent picture from just Monday here, and we're really excited about the 4 businesses that are coming. We've got Chase Bank on the corner, Chick-fil-A next, Crew Car Wash, McDonald's here. Then in the middle, there's a portfolio of what you would call the junior boxes, and what the developer's telling us that he has interest from is Ross for Less, one of the Alta stores, something from the TJ Maxx family, so Maxx, Home Goods, Marshall, one of those. And then the one that everybody's kind of chatting about quietly in the community is Trader Joe's. But I want to caution everybody that he has a letter of intent at this point in time. It is not a done deal, so I'm very cautious about getting people's hopes up because it's hard to make the economics work with new construction prices and what they can pay per square foot. So there's interest, and hopefully the developer can put the numbers together in the package to bring that to us, because we told him all those uses that he's talking about, that's exactly what our Fitchburg residents would like to see in the neighborhood here. The other use in the outlot would be possibly a Chipotle or a Starbucks here. And then we've got another third area up here that could be for either commercial or another multifamily building. And then to the east, as you veer north of Fitzgerald Road, we've got what they call one of the Texas Wrap apartment buildings on the next slide, the Jamestown Quarry Apartments. You already see the concrete walls up here, the parking structure in the middle, and then they wrap the units around the outside of that 4-story parking structure. And this is going to be 273 units of market rate apartments with a good balance of 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and 3 bedrooms there. Then the next slide. I veered out of Alder District 1, but I wanted to give you a highlight of it because it's in District 4 along Nesbitt Road. We've got a new hotel coming right next to Pancake Cafe. Our friend Raveen Shah, who has the best Staybridge Suites in the country, is going to be opening up a Spring Hill Suites by Marriott in October of this year. So that's a really good product for us. And then with the senior center directors and commission members here, we've got more senior housing coming. This is Gymfinity Gymnastics, our Country Inn and Suites here. J.T. Klein is proposing 180 unit senior housing, 100 market rate apartments, and then 80 affordable using the LIHTC program there. And the next slide is our housing plan. We did our first housing plan ever in 2019, and we've been actively implementing that, including establishing a housing advisory committee. And then we had multiple successful tax increment districts throughout the city. And by state statute, you can keep those open 1 year if that money goes into an affordable and a general housing plan. So we put $10 million into a fund to implement different housing activities. And this is what we're focused on at the time. We've got $1 million we've put towards the efficiency navigator. It's for upgrades to that smaller multifamily mom and pop rental housing stock, upgrading energy efficiency, HVAC, air conditioning, windows, and things like that. And then there's an affordability clause to maintain affordability of those units for so many years. The second program is deferred loans for those LIHTC programs. So like the senior housing or Uptown Hills that we're doing in the city, we've got $1.5 million kind of dedicated to that. Then we're looking at land banking and acquisition to partner with entities like Habitat for Humanity, which we did a great development with them called Renaissance on the Park in the Belmar neighborhood, or the Madison Area Community Land Trust. So we've got $2 million dedicated to that. Then we're looking at a future down payment assistance program with $2.5 million. That would be for families probably at 60 to 100% of median income around the city, with the program parameters yet to be determined. And then we're looking at a $500,000 emergency housing fund for our seniors, where if somebody's furnace goes out or they need a new roof, if there's been a hailstorm or something like that, we're going to put some money in the bank for people that might be at risk of losing their housing, to help them with those unexpected major expenses. And then another new program we're looking at is there's a lot of market rate apartments being built all around the city of Fitchburg, and we're looking at trying to work with the developers to incorporate 10% of the units in those market rate buildings, where they would be positioned for people that are at 60% of Dane County median income. That's a way to extend the reach of those affordable units geographically in Fitchburg. So we're looking to launch that with an apartment building in the Uptown neighborhood on the east side as a pilot program. And then lastly, we are exploring public-private partnerships. We're talking to a local developer, Gorman and Company, about a potential single-family home ownership program, partnering with him on the infrastructure and the fees and services to see if we could come up with a pilot program. That remains to be determined if they can find a piece of land, and then we would bring that forward to the council for ultimate consideration to decide if we want to move forward with a program like that or not. So much has changed since 2019 in the housing market, as you're well aware. Construction costs, interest rates, availability, affordability, and you can see why we're in the situation that we're in here. Fitchburg should be averaging 100 to 150 single-family permits a year. But after the last recession, look at this. We had 10 years where we had less than 50 single-family housing starts. So that's a real challenge for us in the community here. And it's not that people didn't want to live in Fitchburg or they weren't looking for lots and homes. We just didn't have inventory of new lots available with subdivisions through the entitlement process. So that's why we have the 2 neighborhood plans coming forward. We're doing okay on the multifamily, but we just need to keep that pipeline of availability, which will help us then balance out the housing market and start to address more of the affordability issues that are out there. So we're in the process right now of, that's just a graphic that shows those numbers. We're updating our housing plan, and we're going through that exercise. So we're asking for your input and your involvement to give us your perspective. So if you haven't filled out the housing survey yet, we just extended the deadline. It's open until the 22nd of August. Please take one of these postcards or just scan the QR code and definitely participate. We'd like your input, feedback, and participation in that. With that, thank you. Appreciate it. Was I on time?
Yeah.
I talk fast, and I'm happy to answer any questions after we're done here. So feel free to stick around and come and talk to me.
Some are not receiving any information from the city, there is this postcard. No, I have this one.
Oh, okay.
So where you can scan this QR code and then access to what information you want to receive via email or in text. We have a lot of information that you can get. Also, we have some information from the Senior Center, and the August activity. Great. Okay. So now it's your turn to ask questions to us. Yes. Your name, sir?
Should I use the mic or no?
Oh, yes, please.
I can probably have.
Oh, you can do that, Joe. Maybe we can be here.
Hey, my name's Mike. I live over on Monticello, about a half mile from here. I don't know if folks can hear me okay, but I just wanted to give a shout out to the Senior Center. I used them about 3 weeks ago, and I was trying to get rid of some compressed oxygen, and I was just having a devil of a time, and boom, 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 2 minutes with the Senior Center took care of the problem, so thanks for what you guys do. I just wanted to talk about what seems to be on everybody's mind in our neighborhood, which is taxes, and notwithstanding the fact that property tax bills in December are composed of 3 different jurisdictions, I think this need not deter Fitchburg doing its part in meeting people where they are, groceries, childcare, college, so forth and so forth. And right now, the cost of living, especially for younger families, is really, really challenging. And I think that we're not doing everything we can as a city to just, go Elon Musk on our budget and just say, hey, it's too much. And it's a little, my thinking is a little bit different than the chief's policy with respect to 1,000 people equals 1 staffer, but I just don't think formulae should supplant policymaking. And I think we get a little bit too dogmatic if we use formulae to replace policymaking. And I just wanted to ask the chief, police, do you think 1,000 is hard and fast, or is it, the type of people? Is there other I don't know the word I'm looking for, but just other considerations that might merit, well, we don't really need more people. 3,000 people come up, let's say, in new housing and like a nice apartment complex. Does this really mean that we need 3 more staffers? And you've been around, so I was wondering what you think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Do my job better.
Thank you. There's no one piece. There are so many indicators that play a role. It's calls for service. It's type of call, volume of, or the type of calls for service that are coming in with your staffing, size of the city. Size meaning we got 34, for this particular city, 35 square miles that we have to cover. So it's the size of the city, the population, calls for service, types of calls for service, and what's what's actually going on in your city. So it's very complicated. But you can also compare yourself with other cities that are established. If you look at the national average for officers per 1,000 in any city, it's the national average is about 2.4 officers per 1,000. That gets skewed a little bit with major cities because major cities have a lot of crime, hence have more officers to deal with those calls for service. So if you look at the Midwest average, you're still at around 2. And when you get to the state average, state of Wisconsin, excluding Milwaukee, you're more at a 1.9 officers per 1,000. So now let's look at cities in Wisconsin. There's 15 cities that are between 30 and 50,000 in population. Out of those 15 cities, Fitchburg is the lowest at under 1.6 per 1,000. So however you want to slice it, however you want to dice it, we are low staffed. Does that mean we have a lot of crime? Fitchburg is very safe. It's a very safe city, but we still have a lot of work to here, a lot of calls for service, a service that we have to handle. We go through over 26,000 calls for service a year. So the math is very complicated, but what I will tell you is that our staffing is low, being the lowest in the state. Manitowoc has 35,000 residents, and I think they're at 69 sworn officers. So and we're currently at what is it? Budgeted staffing for sworn 55. So it gets complicated, and our job is we are pretty busy, but not necessarily dealing with shootings, although we have our shootings per year, we have our gun violence per year, but that's not the driver of what happens here in the city of Fitchburg.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Let me pass off before you talk. It needs to be recorded, that's fine.
I just think everybody's concern really is taxes, and just across the board. I mean, I think some folks just want to take a knife and just 10% off. I mean, that's unrealistic, but, you know.
So what do you say, that to cut 10%?
No, I beg your pardon. 10% is unrealistic, but I just mean just sort of taking a knife to the budget, if you will. And it's just, and I realize that the municipal taxes they comprise probably not nearly the majority of a property tax bill, for instance. But the gripes I hear in our neighborhood about taxes, I mean, you wouldn't believe, and I don't think, northern Jamestown is too different than the rest of the city, but
Yeah, I
I
can talk about budget because this is my.
You got your.
Oh yeah, sorry. So this is the slide that I want to show you about from 2010 to 2024. This is an average home in Fitchburg for 24. It was $457,000. So a home of $457,000 in Fitchburg, the average taxes is $2,600. And if you look, the increase, has been in the last couple of years, it has been very, we don't see jump increases. And also we need to understand that also the city as an organization, we are not immune of the construction costs, inflation, and at least we need to pass a budget that we can cover our fixed costs, our salary. 85% of our budget is salary because we are a service organization. 85% of our budget goes to pay salaries and wages, the pack with benefits, retirement, and all of that. Because we are a service organization, and it's okay. This is how service organizations are run. So, but I want to tell you that when people ask, that our taxes are growing immensely, it's not true. You can see it here. But there are other agencies, we have Dane County, we have the school. Verona School District is one of the more expensive school districts in the city of Fitchburg. I live in the Madison. Last year, we approved in the Madison School District $600 million in a referendum. So when the city sent me the bill this year, in December, Madison is going to tell the city of Fitchburg for all the homes in the city that belong in the Madison School District, this is going to be our new allocation for those homes. I want to see at least a $1,000 increase in the Madison School District in taxes. But I say yes to the referendum, so I know what is going to happen because I believe in public education. But I want to tell you, when we are putting we are putting together the budget, our budget is pretty clean. There is not too much fat. If I need to remove fat from the budget, I need to lay off people or reduce services. This is where I am right now. At least we need to cover a 3% inflation. As I mentioned before, we just got the bill from the health insurance, 9% increase. Our net new construction, as you know how municipal budget and municipal accounting and finance is very difficult. One of the things is we cannot increase the levy more than the net new construction. Our net new construction that we just got from the Wisconsin Department of Revenue is 2.9. We can increase our levy. 2.9, it means that we are still growing as a municipality. Other municipalities in Wisconsin, they have like 0.1, We are lucky that we are growing because that growth is practically covering all the existing cost. The 2.59 is equivalent to $700,000 that I'm going to have capacity going to the 26 budget, okay? So follow with the number. So I'm going to have a $700,000 additional. But what happened? I need to provide 2% COLA to the employees. And I need to provide cost of living. What did I say?
Yeah, you did the acronym. I was just.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry. Adjustment to salary plus benefit is, we already did the numbers. I got the number this week. It's $725,000. So all of that extra capacity, I already had to put it in the bucket for employee. And I am short $25,000. And we are already telling the head of department, in our head of department meeting the other day, what did we tell you? Go to your budget and see what are the things that you need to, it's not working or you don't need, because we are trying to do that. Last year, when we put together the 2025 budget, we removed almost when they gave me the first draft, it came with a 5-point-something increase in taxes. And I said, no, I cannot go to the city of, to the resident with a 5% increase in taxes. I said, go back and what we can find. So we decreased it to 3.4. It was the average of the inflation. And I am fine with that, because my goal is that our taxes, they are like inflation or a little bit below the inflation. You know what I mean? That one is our, and we did that. We were able to remove more stuff that we didn't know, some stuff were like supplies. We don't need to go to this conference. We don't need to do this, what else? I don't know. You were all part of that, the head of the department that are here. So what I am trying to say that we are trying to look at that, because I live in Fitchburg and I pay taxes. So I know how much we are paying. But I think that if you do the calculation, my house is around $480,000 value. And I pay almost $2,900 to the city of Fitchburg per year. I divided that by 12. Okay, I am paying like $200-something a month for all the great services that we are providing. This is how I do it. And I know that it's hard sometimes for people that are in fixed, income. There is a lot of uncertainty coming from the federal government right now. We don't know what is going to happen with the cost of construction, tariff, all the with the new bill that it was passed, So we don't know what is going to happen. But I can tell you, I can control what happened in my city and in my budget. I have full control of that. What happened with the Dane County budget, with the school budget, and Madison College, I don't have any control. But I want to tell you that we are doing, and the council, and the city staff, we are aware of those challenges, and we are trying to do our best to present a budget that even with a growing community and all the growing pains and all the infrastructure that we need to put underground, that it costs millions of dollars, we are trying to keep that balance between the growth, the needs, inflation, cost of construction, to provide a budget that is we are not gonna, it's not gonna hurt the resident because they have to pay. They're gonna see a 10% increase in taxes. No, this is not in our mind. No, in my power. Any other question? Yes.
Rich.
Hi, I'm Rich Tate. I live on Smithfield Circle. I've got a couple things, a couple complaints,
Okay.
and a question.
Yeah.
First of all, since I had so much to do with the city, everybody thinks I know everything.
Oh yeah.
Boy, are they wrong. But anyhow, they keep asking because we have a neighbor who raises chickens. And there are roosters crowing. He has sheep in his yard. He has a gazillion chickens. My wife has seen him walking out with like 8 dead chickens to his car. And the neighbors have complained to the city, and nothing's happened. And all the gals come over for coffee on the weekends, and they always ask, well,
You need to complain to your elders.
all right, we're going to have a beer.
To Dave and Joe.
Bring your box.
No roosters, right?
Roosters are illegal.
Yeah, well, my point my point, I understand that. My point
Yeah.
is that the city's been notified of this
Okay.
multiple times
Okay.
from multiple neighbors, and nothing's happened.
Okay.
Now,
Does
it w-
he have roosters?
yes, you should hear him.
Okay.
I've got a parrot, and those roosters can make him sound quiet. Now, maybe it would be
Right.
something as simple as when the police are driving by, roll down your window. You'd hear it. Maybe some kind of follow-up. But when we've talked, or when there's been calls, everybody knows the house
Okay.
because he's operating a business out of there. He bought 3 houses, I think, on the, around the corner from me. And it's just nonstop.
Okay.
But that's just,
Send me an email with all of that. So I'm
Okay.
gonna because I don't see that detail of complaint.
okay, no,
He's operating a business there.
Oh, really?
yeah, he is operating a business, trucks block the roads.
But then you need to send a building inspection there. Yeah.
Playing the chat about it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The other thing is having an architectural background.
Okay.
I'm a little upset that I didn't know what was going on with the Quarry Ridge development.
Okay.
Somewhere I missed the boat. Now, maybe I was gone, maybe I was doing
Okay.
something, I don't know. But we need to work on wish we could have a better communication system. Somehow of notifying the neighborhood, because I would have been at all those meetings.
No, yeah.
I wanted to know what kind of finishes are up there, what kind of, what they're doing, what the overall is. And that's just a criticism of,
No, it's fine.
that can be
Yeah.
improved.
We know that we need to do better in communication. We
Yeah.
know that.
Now, the question I have for the chiefs, chief and chief, I understand that it can be economically more feasible to pay people overtime than to hire a new person. Because what did I hear? It was 160% versus 150%, for when you figure everything in. But how many overtime hours do you guys have allotted each week or each paycheck as a percentage of, or if you want to put it in a percentage or a number of hours per week?
So, a little background. So, half of the folks on our fire engines each day are career firefighters. One of the individuals on each engine is an intern, so they're compensated with housing and other things like that. And the other person is a part-time firefighter. So every week, I have to mandate or force somebody to work overtime. So I do understand the benefit rate with paying overtime, that I do understand that, but we're at the point now where we're mandating, and I'm having a lot of my employees reach out about having mental health issues, the stress of feeling like they really need to work. They're so dedicated and committed to the job, and it's very common in our industries, that they will overwork themselves to the detriment of their own mental health, which goes home with them. So we are definitely at that point in the fire department where that is a very significant concern I have of my staff. So yeah, I mean, the numbers are the numbers, right? 150 plus whatever the benefit rate is based on the employee. But you have to have the employees to work the overtime. So when you have, for me, every spot, like I mentioned earlier, has to be filled each day, okay? So if one of my part-timers who makes less than my full-timer can't work, is sick, is injured, I have to fill that spot. That may be overtime. If the intern isn't there, that's additional cost that could be overtime. But every day, all 9 of my response positions have to be there. So yes, there is a calculation, there is a sweet spot, I call it, for overtime versus career staff. But I can tell you in just my short 2.5 months, we need to bring in more career or part-time staff to be able to fill those seats. So.
I want to answer a question with a question. How many officers do you think are out on the street right now? I wanted him to answer the question.
Okay, I'll just say 30.
Our minimum staffing are 4 officers per shift. So with that said, 4 officers. Now, we can have 5 or 6 officers per shift, But I just indicated earlier that we're the lowest staffed city our size in the state of Wisconsin. That means our staffing levels, you got to include vacations, family leave situations, somebody extended for a very long time on an investigation and an extra day off, sick days. There's a lot of indicators and a lot of things, variables that go into staffing. But our minimum staffing is 4 officers. And I don't want to be aggressive or anything. Do you think we're going to allow rooster complaint at 35 square miles with 4 officers out on the street?
You need to hire 4 more.
Well, that one was a referendum and people say no.
Hence, so now here comes the overtime. We don't give overtime away. It's not saying, anybody want to stick around? And we have to be good stewards of the taxpayer money. So our overtime comes from extension of duty. We ended up having a call that extended us, and we need to inform our supervisors we're extending because we're working over on this complaint where an arrest is going to be made. And the job here, we don't know when things are going to happen. There's court overtime. If we make an arrest, we have to report to court. So that's overtime. We don't say there's X amount of hours for overtime for the taking. No, we backfill per contract. If there's let me back up a little bit. Officers have a union and they have a contract. So in part of those contracts, there's an obligation of certain how many officers that are allowed to get either time off or vacation. And sometimes we have to fill those positions with overtime. But it's not given, it's not free. All of our overtime comes because there's a reason to fill those positions. And some of them we do get reimbursed. If we're working overtime for an event, Burby Derby, or other events such as those.
Ironman.
Pardon?
Ironman. Yeah.
We get reimbursed for those hours that officers are working. And we do have sign-up lists to see if people can come in. And if there's an investigation like a shooting at a tavern, that backs us up almost 3 days because we're calling in the shift that's coming early. We're calling people in from home and then to accommodate the shift that came in early, the next shift. So it gets extremely, extremely complicated. And that all gets done by bringing in people on overtime.
That's a building inspection issue too. Those animals not. Building inspection.
Can you say that again?
With those roosters and sheep, that's a building inspection issue. They would take care of that. We want to ask the police to wade into that. But I will
have CSOs
I will follow up.
If the need be, we do have CSOs that can write citations for those. Civilian service specialists that. Let me get back up. We do have those. We do have civilians within our department that can do things, but their job is getting inundated and supporting the police officer role, which then makes it difficult for us to respond. And we used to respond to those type of calls, but it's just few and far between.
I wasn't trying to be cryptic.
No, that's fine.
I want to get arrested. Can you add a chicken?
Yeah, you can have 4 chickens. But no rooster. No sheep.
I was going to bring some levity around taxing per egg because I hear eggs are expensive, and they are. But I won't. I'm sorry. Christopher Piguero, I'm on the Verona Area School Board representing Fitchburg, and I just wanted to inform you all in regards to the plans that we're seeing for budget. We are remaining flat. There will not be a referendum for school board for the Verona Area School District, but we are also going to be introducing the next budget shortly, so I would encourage you to tune in. You can go to the Verona Area School District School Board site and look at upcoming agendas and follow the discussion around the budget process. And please give comment. But I do have a question around maybe if you could talk, you mentioned a little bit, Mayor, about federal pressures and things coming up. Mm-hmm. Can you give some general thoughts or things that you're seeing on the federal level? I know that on the school board we're thinking about that. There will be some impact potentially to the budget process as we're looking at things like Title IX, Title X, and other titles around diversity in our school district. So it'd be great to hear from some federal impacts.
Yeah. I'm going to answer 1, 2, 3.
Oh, you
yeah.
got your
Oh, you
mic.
have.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, The thing that we have control in the city is we have a couple of federal grants, okay, from the federal government, but they are more for road construction or that we calculated around $8 million we have in federal grants. So far, we assume that money is going to come, but also we're in the future, we know that we are not going to rely in those, on those grants because they are cutting everything. You know what I mean? So that one could be a concern for the future. That yes, maybe we need to, because a part of our, I have another slide that I want to show you. Where is So this is how, the city receives money from different sources. We receive money from the state through shared revenue. We receive state aid transportation, and we also receive federal grants. So if that federal grant packet is going to be reduced, we need to think strategically from where we are, or we need to use more debt to pay our, project, or, usually it's going to be more debt to pay those big projects. But yes, that one is what I can say about locally, that it could be affected. I don't know.
Additionally, in emergency services, and I know Chief Morales would be affected by this as well, is there's really two different entities that provide emergency management and fire service executive level training. And both of those are administered by FEMA. The Emergency Management Institute and the National Fire Academy. So programs that you've seen, like active shooter programs to prepare schools and staff, all of that is funded through there. All of our people are trained through grants and online programs and things like that. The development of fire officers in our country is run through FEMA programs and the National Fire Academy. Emergency management is heavily supported by FEMA grants, not only by state funding, but by FEMA grants. And all of that information and that entire response and support framework is supported by FEMA. So obviously, I'm sure you've heard, FEMA is threatened by change in political view right now. So if that happens, we don't know how that gap would be filled. But it will be a significant hit to the emergency services world for us. And so that would be a significant issue that we would have to find a gap or some way to fill that gap.
One other question. This is just a comment. And yes, I know that you recognize communication is needed, and especially if we're looking at referendums and the importance of, like you're pointing out right now, the funding for emergency services and other services. And I know they're working on that. But one comment I would make is, as we look at population growth and change, maybe comparison to prior years to see where that change is happening. I think that would be helpful in future presentations.
What do you mean?
The first slide, we showed the demographic change and the growth of population, but showing through years of what that change looks like.
Oh, you want to see comparative.
Yeah, because that tells me a story.
Yeah, makes sense.
And that'd be great to see. That's
Good point. Yeah.
Thanks.
Are you taking note?
Really a simple question. When we acquired part of the town of Madison, how did that affect your budget? Was it favorably, unfavorably, or neutral?
Well, no, because we got an increase in our levy limit, when you acquire another, town. But yes, because that part of the town was so neglected, because the town didn't invest anything. So we are already working on improving the parks, in that area. Police, we need to, we need to police that area. So yes, it gets increase your budgetary pressure, because you have another area with 1,500 people. Most of those people living in an apartment, and most of those people are is low income, and there are other issues in that area. This is what we are working on, also improve through the Healthy Neighborhood Initiative. Working with some of the not-for-profit in the area to provide some extra services. But yes, of course, because we are investing in roads, storm water, parks, all of that.
So it raised your costs.
Yeah, of course, yes.
You're nodding vigorously. How much did it raise your costs?
Yeah.
Or can you calculate the figure?
But also we are receiving some of the revenue for that. You know what I mean? We receive. It's not like we are zero revenue. We receive some revenue from that area in tax collection, but it's not enough to cover the cost.
Good evening. I'm Donna Stewart. I'm a member of the Commission on Aging Well in Fitchburg. I came to be on that committee, and first I would preface this by saying I'm not going to challenge anybody. There's no question at the end of this. I want to reinforce a couple of themes that I'm very grateful to have heard come up already this evening. Again, I'm on the Commission for Aging Well, and I came to be on that commission because I deliver Meals on Wheels to people in need in Fitchburg. That program is administered through the Senior Center. So I would be wheeling in, grabbing those meals, and Jill's knew I was interested in service and said, I have a commission that you could do some work on, or you could be helpful on. Through delivering those meals, I came to see the plight of an elderly population that I just was not aware of, that is growing. Demographically, everybody in this room, we're all getting older. Yeah. Well, and through that program, you deliver to some of the oldest in our community, and not always the oldest, but the most in need. I want to take the opportunity, because there aren't, like, some disciplines have like sexy primetime shows about firefighters or police officers. I don't think there's like a Senior Center Chicago show or anything. So it does fall on the shoulders then of people like Jill, and her team that do an extraordinary staff with very little resource on behalf of a very quiet part of our population. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to reinforce a couple of themes that nearly all of our presenters touched on somehow, and that is isolation and mental health issues. Like, you won't hear a siren of somebody going to deal with somebody who has a mental health issue. Well, perhaps in the extreme sense you will, but so mental health, isolation are just plagues among our elderly right now, and transportation. This is not new. This is not news to anybody in the room, but I want to take this opportunity to reinforce the need for transportation to get our elderly to wherever they need to be or would like to be. So kudos to all of you for all of your service, and Jill, for your outstanding leadership and work. Thank you.
So regarding transportation, I forgot to announce that we are working with Metro to expand the line 75, 65, and paratransit. So bring more to the senior center. We are working, so the vehicle registration fee that we implemented in April, part of that money is going to be to increase that service. So we are working on that. Yes, sir.
Hi there, my name's Jeff Molson, and I live off Seminole Highway between the Cannonball and the Capital City trails. The city has done just an incredible job with those trails. They're well maintained. We asked for flashers at the intersection of the trails with the Seminole Highway. My concern is the speed of the traffic on Seminole Highway. I think it should be reduced. Right now it's 35 miles per hour. The speed limit coming out of Madison is 25 miles per hour, and I wonder, is there any way we can change that? Thank you.
I don't know. I think we need to talk to our engineer transportation. That one is something that we can monitor, and because they are the expert, I am not an expert on that, and there is a lot of rules that they follow. So yes, it's something we can bring to them. Who is in the TTC? You know in TTC? No.
It's Bill.
No. Bill. Okay.
Bill, right? I think you might have emailed me to draw my attention to the issue. Is that correct? Okay. No, there was a resident that
Yeah, we
there was
already
a resident
received
that
complaint,
mentioned
yeah.
that, and that's why those blinkers are there.
Yeah.
So just to note, like, if there's roosters, tell us so that we could do something about it. And I'm also. I hope I didn't turn this off. I'm on Bike and Ped Commission, and we're redoing our bike and pedestrian plan, and we were just bike committee, but I think being able to also address the accessibility issues of walkers is really important, because when we all get out of our cars, we walk somewhere, and we want it to be safe. So there is an update of that plan that should be out in September. So if you watch our committee of the whole meeting, you'll see what updates there are.
Vision Zero part of that plan?
No, that one is, no, I don't think so, isn't it?
No, are we addressing Vision Zero in other parts of our plan? I would like to talk to you more about Vision Zero. I've heard of it, but I'm not.
We don't have the money yet to implement it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We allocated some money in the capital improvement plan. Yeah. No. Any other questions, comments? The other thing is, you want to, to learn more about how our budget works. Please, I am willing to sit with you and show you the budget line by line. I know that budget. And then share, because it's different, the budget from a municipality than from a business. Totally different. And there are a lot of misinformation about how we can use some of the funding, because there are some funding that have a lot of restriction. Like, for example, we are building the hub in North Fishhatchee Road. It's a park. It was funded totally by park dedication fee, this developer fee that they are coming in the corridor, and we can only use those fees for new amenity in community parks. We cannot use it for maintaining the playground or repair something in the park, no. So, and with that, there is a lot of our restriction in some of the funds that we receive. We usually use capital debt or for big projects. We try to maintain the rest of the operational cost of the city with the taxpayer money. So we have grants, and some grants that come with a lot of restrictions that are for a specific use, project, initiative. So we cannot move money from one pocket to the other one, because sometimes there are a lot of restrictions. So this is sometimes that is good when we sit with the people one-to-one and explain how those different buckets of money that we get are working. And also we have utility. You receive every quarter an utility bill for the, the water and the stormwater. That one is a separate entity that the city have, totally independent, that we need to maintain also. That with the money that we collect with that utility, we also use the money for expansion of the water main, expansion of sewer, interceptor. All that money is coming from that.
Water towers.
Exactly. So so this is what I say. The room tax. The hotel, they charge a room tax. Mike can explain better how it functions, but we don't get all the money. 70% of that money we had to allocate it to our Fitchburg Chamber of Commerce. So, and then we get only the 30%, and then the 30% has a lot of restriction. So, and so this is what I say, it's important. If you don't understand, please reach out to me, reach out to the council member, because we can sit with you and explain that, because there is a lot of misinformation. And to be honest, when December comes and we send the bill, you talk about mental health, you put it in our place. The abuse that we receive in social media, and we are here, we are regular neighbor like you. I don't consider myself a politician. I consider myself a servant leader for my community that I live, I love, that I moved here 21 years ago and raised my family here. And I am doing a service, and sometimes we receive those awful comments from people. People now in social media are at another level. And please, before you put a post, call me and say, Julia, I disagree with you about that. Can we have a coffee? Can you explain it? I appreciate that. I appreciate Susie. Susie sometimes gets mad at me and says, well, let's have coffee. And I like Susie because look, Susie said, I don't understand this, Julia. Can we meet? You know what I mean? I like that. You know, I don't like when people go on social media and say things that totally misinformation. And then I am not going to engage in social media to tell you what is going on. But if you need to put in our places too. Not only is affecting elected officials, because some of the comments that people make in social media affect our staff. Affect our staff. And I have seen that. So I think we need to be more, we have to be proud of the city that we live. We live in a city that is growing, safe. Yeah, we have growing pain. Yeah, we have a lot of things that we need to improve, you know. But we are human. And, you know, as a mayor, yeah, I'm going to make mistakes. But I am a human. But I am also, people that know me, they know that when I make a mistake, I recognize it and move forward. You know, but I want to tell you that we live in a nice and great city. This is what people want to move to here. You know what I mean? When people say, why people moving to Fitchburg? We have something special here that people want to stay here, move to this part of the city. So we should be proud, all of us, because we are all part of this community. Any other question? Chris.
I just want to reflect on your comment and want to thank all of our public servants for their hard work, because you do put in a tremendous amount of work, and it's a sacrifice, and I recognize that. So I do appreciate all of you and your work. Just wanted to say that.
I'll say that too. Actually, I know you and Joe well, and we are extremely fortunate to have both of you working in our government. I don't know Dave, but maybe I will shortly. But you guys do a tremendous job. So
Thank you.
I think we're very lucky.
Okay, any other question? Recommendations? What are things that you would like to see, even, you know, improve, beside the chicken and the rooster and the sheep?
I'm going to go to a bar.
I'll take you to Puerto Rico. You'll hear a whole bunch of
I was in the outfield before coming to Wisconsin.
There's something else that you want to see that we should be doing. I know that we need to improve communication, and I forgot to mention that we are working on a communication plan. Even though we don't have a communication director or specialist, but we are working in a plan. We are also working on implementing electronic newsletter. We already purchased the platform to do it, and this is going to be another way that we are going to be informing you through electronic newsletter too.
Yeah, you go first.
Yeah. So I mentioned one thing you might want to consider getting involved with. We are forming a Friends of Fitchburg Parks 501(c) nonprofit to do two things. One, to get volunteers. You know, we have a lot of wood lots, we have prairies we'd like to restore. We have many things that we would like to get 300 people that would give us 10 hours a year to help with these things. And the second part of it is we're looking to, you know, people love our parks in the city, and like to raise money for them so that we can help offset some of the maintenance or repair of our parks. So we have that. We're working on getting that set up, and you'll see there's a lot of paperwork. It's taken us a while. It's somewhat onerous. Any of you that have been through something like that, but once we get it set up, please consider joining us on that. You know, it's a good way to give back to your city, and I haven't run into many people that don't really enjoy our parks, and I think most of you probably want to continue to help with them. So that's all. Thanks.
I'll mention another thing that wasn't brought up during our presentation, but our Human Resources Director, Sarah Olson, is just phenomenal. In addition to the Equity Committee that was approved to become an official committee last night, Sarah's team has done several events. They did a Bring Your Kid to Work Day this summer, and then later this month they're going to be doing a Youth Government Day where they spend, I think, 3 days basically taking young people through to understand how the different departments in the city work. I also wanted to give Janice the opportunity to, I know that Jill mentioned the lunch and learn. I won't unfortunately be there, but if you want to publicize it, dine with your alder.
Yeah. Next Wednesday, I have all the alders coming in with the senior constituents and having lunch with them. It's Dine with Your Alders. Last year they came and did a presentation about each of their districts and who they are and what they do. This year I want them to be able to come and sit and talk and dine with the seniors and just get to know what district you're in and who's your alder and ask questions one-on-one. So we're looking forward to having all the alders next Wednesday at the Senior Center from noon until 1. All of you are invited to come and join us. Thank you.
Thank you. The other thing I want to mention that the police department is doing this week, what is the name?
The Latino Youth Academy tomorrow evening. It's a 5-day program. They graduate tomorrow. So we'll be having it at the Senior Center. What is that, your dining room? And it's actually pretty fun. It's a packed house. They come with their parents. You all are welcome. I know the mayor's going to be there. I don't know if the alders are going to be there. Fire, Scott?
This is another way to start planting the seed for kids to look at other options, career options, you know, like fire and police, you know, like this is another way that we can introduce them to those career paths.
It's like the Citizens Academy,
Yeah.
but for our youth. The oldest, youngest are roughly around 6th grade all the way through 8th grade. So pretty much junior high kids, and it's a great time.
Yeah, you can say. Come. Yeah.
Just saying. Since everybody's here and you're not asking questions, which is okay. Jeremy Crosby, manager at Fact TV. Rich, for communications-wise, you know, too, if there's something we're not getting out, you know, always reach out. We want that feedback to get information out, but, you know, Fact TV has been around, and Rich actually served on the committee a long time ago. But, you know, our team is out covering a lot of events, sharing a lot of great stories, but we cover all your government meetings and make those transparent, bring in the Zoom so you can come in virtually. Make sure we get these alders on and share. We do a daily newscast. We've been doing a daily newscast for 6 years. 6 years we've been doing a daily newscast, sharing out information. If you haven't checked it out, it's called Talking Fitchburg. And we try to highlight all of these guys and everything the mayor has said. We've highlighted all of those and continue to do that. But we'd love to share more stories. Lunch and Learn, we tape all the Lunch and Learns with Janice, get those out there as well. So if there is something that you want us to share out there or find for communications, let us know. The city uses 30 different tools to get information out there. We want to do better, and we're working with the mayor to do that. But in the meantime, there's still a lot of great information that's getting out there. And if there's a better way, or if there's something we're missing, we want that feedback so we know what we can actually do to get it out there. So when I hear like the plan stuff, like plan commission stuff, like how can we do better at getting that out there? That's good to hear because we don't always hear that feedback. We just hear we're not getting information, but how do we get that out there? So just food for thought. You know, we hear a lot of the communication stuff, but we want more feedback. I think would help.
I can say
Coming up on 15 years. Wow. Too long. Not 30 like these guys.
Rich,
I'm working on it.
Rich, I can send you Jeremy to take a look at the chicken. Okay, the other finally, we are at the end of the second hour, is there is if you want to stay engaged with the city, you can go to our website and there is a notify icon where you can click and then you can enter you can select what type of information that you want to receive via email or text. This is another way to be connected with the city. Also, I want to thank you, our incredible Fact TV team, because they are following us to So they work very long hours. And the other thing I want to say, we run a very transparent city. Everything that we do is recorded. All the meetings, all the events, this listening session. When I was telling them I am putting together the listening session, Jeremy said, "Can we go?" Yeah, of course. So this is what I said, we do everything on the open, and everything is recorded. So if you miss a common council meeting, you can go and YouTube, you know, everything is there.
Website, YouTube, we're everywhere.
Yeah.
Check the website, we got it.
So that's it. So thank you very much for coming. I appreciate all of you. You know, until the next one. Thank you for you, Chief. Yeah. Hey,